Unlike most episodes in this series, I'm choosing to discuss a body of work from a photographer as opposed to a single photo. In this case, Workers by Sebastião Salgado exist as a body of work that should be consumed in its collective form. The aim of this series is to consider all the photos as a collection and achieve a visceral response, as opposed to a single shot that captures the intensity of a situation. In 1986, Sebastião Salgado began a photographic project with the running theme of manual labor, encompassing several continents. It was conceived to tell the story of an era, to document the time where the Industrial Revolution existed in a state of flux, moving from relying on people working with their hands to utilizing machines. Workers set out to show the world the other side of productive endeavors. Not the boardroom decisions, the blueprints, the pushing of paper, but the back-breaking labor needed to move the progress of industry and innovation forward. Salgado's upbringing, growing up on a farm and living life in a pre-marketplace Brazil, greatly attributed to his arrival at Workers. Born in 1944, Sebastião Salgado left his family and farm and moved to France to study economics. Upon receiving his master's degree, he eventually moved to Europe to work as an economist for the International Coffee Organization. It was during this tenure he made frequent trips to Africa where he observed the lives of the extremely poor. His interest began to shift from economics to photography. After some time working as a freelance photographer, he began working for the prestigious Magnum Agency in 1979. Gaining influence from the likes of Eugene Smith, Walker Evans, and Louis Hine, he used his skills of composition, contrast, and character study to gain recognition in the 80s as he photographed the famine and its effects on regions of Africa. As a self-professed leftist, Salgado acknowledged the importance for a photographer to first identify with their subject, to spend long periods of time in order to create a fully engaged relation to his subjects and carry out photography as authentic as possible. Quote, "Politics and activism for me was very important," he said. "But when I started photography, it was quite a different thing. I did not want to make pictures just because I was an activist or because it was necessary to denounce something. I made pictures because it was my life in the sense that this was how I expressed what was on my mind, through the language of photography. For me, it's much more than activism. It's my way of life, photography." Salgado spent weeks in a gold mine in Serra Pelada, Brazil in 1986. He took 28 photos of the workers and miners, capturing the expanse of horrid working conditions and suffering from the tail end of its 6 years the mine was open. He watched and photographed as the workers made as many as 60 trips up and down the dangerous cliff, carrying heavy sacks weighing between 60 and 130 pounds. Each worker would receive about 60 cents for each trip. Whether in the gold mines of Serra Pelada or the tea plantations of Rwanda, the series of photos depict scenes and faces of pride and awareness, even during times of extreme exhaustion. Quote, "I did Workers because for me, for many years, workers were the reason that I was active politically," he said. "I did studies of Marxism, and the base of Marxism is the working class. I saw that we were arriving at the end of the first big industrial revolution, where the role of the worker inside that model was changed. And I saw in this moment that many things would be changed in the workers' world. And I made a decision to pay homage to the working class, and the name of my body of work was Workers, an archaeology of the industrial age, because they were becoming like archaeology. It was photographs of something that was disappearing, and that for me was very motivating, so that was my identification." Salgado shoots with a closed aperture to keep as much of the scene in focus as possible. This is, as he believes, how we see with the human eye, all focused. Though the images are in black and white, it should be noted that the toning of the images are more duotone with gray and black. Some photos have a bronzing effect in the printing process, but for the most part the images lack color to eliminate the distractions of color so the viewer can focus more on the subject. Strong use of heavy contrast is used as well, so the viewer can be led through the scene from area of interest to area of interest. Bright areas of light are brought up along the muscle and curvature of the subjects to highlight their presence in their environment. That being said, the environment and these subjects do tend to run together as if they were meant to be jailed within the scene. Although Salgado became globally respected and admired for his work, he wasn't without his detractors for his style. The criticism revolved mainly around how stylized, beautiful, and aesthetically manipulated each image was finished. Some would call the work to be too pretty, especially considering the topic being covered. Salgado responded that photographers, like anyone else, have their own style of doing things. You may like it, you may hate it, but it's not his problem where you may fall in your reactions, as is the case with any critique of any artistic output. Sebastião Salgado's work has spanned over 4 decades, and he has won almost every single photography award there is. Among them are the Eugene Smith Award for Humanitarian Photography, 2 ICP Infinity Awards for Journalism, and the Arles International Festival's prize for the Best Photography Book of the Year for Workers. Quote, "I felt a certain revulsion and a compulsion to show that others also have dignity. That dignity is not an exclusive property for the rich countries of the North, but exists all over the planet." That's what photography was for me, my language, my life, and my way of going about and doing things.